What up out there, cyber friends? The Mitty Man coming back at you from Walker's Music with yet another word for today. We like to say that we're getting out to the place that whereas I mostly now do these things after midnight. It's 12:07, but I found out that I do my best work. Sometimes I get my best motivation. Most of the time it seems like it's late at night. And so I may have to make some adjustments to try to do most of the stuff that I do at that particular time. It's funny, but you know, sometimes you have to work with the flow. You have to go with the flow. But at any rate, I saw the video of my partner out there in Dallas, Texas, JT. Give you a big shout out, man, to you. I checked out your video that you made right before you had to attend that funeral about being relaxed. People done got so comfortable in church and everything. But brother, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I must agree with that, because not only has people gotten comfortable in the church, man, it's just, if you look at it, it seems to me that people have gotten comfortable every which way and in every aspect. I mean, people just want to do the same thing, the same kind of way, over and over again. And if you really look at it, that's not godly either, man, because I mean, look at creation. God never made two things alike. You know, I mean, look at the vast creation shows that God loves variety. And he's a God of excitement because he made everything. You know, when we get, you know, you're so true, man. You're so right. I try to get my group. I try to get my group to see this. And I've been teaching them, and we've been together, me and a partner of mine, Brother Butler. We formed this group about 7 years ago next month, and I teach them, you know, the aspects of voice and singing and quartet style, and name the group Cross Calvary. And matter of fact, you can see on there, you can go to Reverb Nation, they're on there, and I got to do some more stuff on them and try to promote them a little bit more. But one of the reasons why I have not been promoting them and trying to get them the notoriety is because of the fact they're stuck in complacency. I mean, no one wants to get better. They just want to keep doing the same thing. So I agree with you, man, wholeheartedly about that, you know. And Jesus, you know, people, if you look in the Word, Jesus was not boring. No way. I mean, if people think that Jesus was the type that just sat around and was complacent, they didn't read the Bible that I read, because if you look, Jesus was invited to all the parties. Have y'all ever noticed that? Jesus was invited to the weddings and all the parties, the major events. Jesus was always invited. Now, if Jesus had been a focused, stoking, stuck in the mud, an old boring, dull person, nobody would have wanted him around. Think about it. Nobody want nobody around him like that. So that'll let you know that Jesus was an outgoing person. And also, if you look at the kids, children loved him. So that'll let you know something about his personality right there. So now you got people that sit around all day long. You can set your watch by them. Man, you know, you done got real, oh brother. Now it's something else when people can set their watch by you. I mean, I don't want to be that predictable. But like you said, dog, it's, you know, the Word. It's in the Word where the temple was full of Solomon. We'll take Solomon. They had skillful musicians. They didn't just put anybody in the temple. They had temple musicians and quote unquote whatnot. But they had to be skillful. And the one thing that I know for certain, that you cannot be skillful in your craft if you become complacent. If you become stuck in the mud, if you become comfortable, if you become satisfied where you are, you will never get to the next level. So that's, I mean, you know, we should always be seeking for better. We should always be seeking for that. I tell my group all the time, there's always room for improvement. You have never gotten so good until you can't get better. And when you thinking that that can't get any better, then, I mean, you just defeated the whole purpose of the thing. So, with that being said, I got a scripture. I got a scripture that I want to read. And I think this here would be, I think this would be tie in, JT, to what we are saying and what we're trying to convey here. Revelation 21, first verse says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. For the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers, sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, he put all them together in it, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. May God as a blessing to the readers, hearers, and doers of his holy word. So don't you see, we win. And even then, God said, I'm going to make all things new. He's not going to even let the stuff stay the same. He's going to make it new. So that lets me know we should always be trying to do something to enhance whatever it is we are involved in. We should always be looking for ways to enhance it to that next level. I mean, you got people, whatever it took, he said that we are the bride and he's the bridegroom. And then you take that if you bring that down on a human level, you got people. This is why I tell people, don't start something that you can't finish. Count the cost. You got people that, while they was out there in the world and, quote unquote, coding and they call themselves dating and everything, they did a whole lot of stuff. They started getting ready to go out to the club 3 hours before time. They would want to make certain that everything was in place and every hair was in, nothing was out of order. And they dressed themselves up to look all out there. You know what I'm talking about. But then, to impress that whoever it was, whether it be a male or female, what I'm saying, but they were trying to impress whoever that was, that special, what they thought, quote unquote, somebody special. And I must hurry on. But they did all of that. And they worked all week just for the weekend. And to get sharp, and then they'll go every night. Sometimes they would start on Thursday night. And go up to Sunday. But they did all these extra sort of like things to try to impress or to make the thing interesting. But then when they quote unquote got the person, then they went back to the same old baggage ways. Well, they told me whatever it took for you to catch a fish, it's going to take for you to get, you're going to have to continue that to keep it. So in other words, you just cannot do the same old, get stuck in the same old rut and become comfortable, because when you do that, you have to feed it the whole thing, and you can get ready for it to become nothing. And in other words, you'll revert. Instead of going forward, you'll go backward. So, Brother JT, thank you, man, for that word. Thank you for that word, man, because this is very, very dangerous in our society right now. That's the danger of what's going on. Everybody's getting comfortable, and no one is trying to take it to that another level, man. So we hope. I'm so glad you brought that out. And like I said, this is Mini Man from Walker's Music saying peace and goodbye.